grab this. Let's see. If you guys haven't joined us lately, this is my name is Jamie. I'm with Stampin' Up, and I love what I do. I'm a creative person who loves to create and connect over card making and crafting. And today we're diving into a really fun masculine card. Now, I have a lot of favorite food groups. I really do. I love lasagna. I'm married to an Italian, so that helps. I love sushi, but above all, my go-to has always been a good hamburger. Just kind of crazy how it works. So if you're joining us live, make sure you give me some love, subscribe, and hit that bell. Don't miss out on joining us. I can't breathe all of a sudden. I've got to love it. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Hi Rhonda. Good to see you, sister. Okay, so what was I saying? Sorry. I love a good hamburger and french fries. So since we've done our kitchen remodel, we've dived back into cooking, which I have missed severely. And one of the first things we made was like this gourmet burger on some brioche buns with homemade french fries. And let me tell you, there's nothing better than a homemade french fry and some delicious hamburgers. So I thought we would be creating today a really fun masculine card using some watercoloring that's going to make it your mouth drool. Like it's gonna bring on those little love buds. So we're gonna create today using the Stampin' Up Bistro bundle, Bistro burger bundle. It has a great collection of dies as well as a stamp set that is absolutely wonderful. It's red rubber cling, so it's really a top-notch product to create with. I love the stabbing of the I can't talk today, you guys. The knife in the top, and we're going to be using something that you may not use very often in watercoloring. So let's just go ahead and dive on in. I want to make sure that you can hear me in all my channels. I see that Rhonda, are you on YouTube with us? I just want to make sure that Facebook can see us. If you guys haven't already, give me some hearts, like and share. Subscribe if you haven't, because sharing is caring, and it's free to do, but it's invaluable to us as creators. So I see here that we are live. Woo-hoo. Let's see if I can share it. Who knows anymore? Let me see. I really dislike social media. I'll tell you, it's such a pain in the tushy. And I don't know why it doesn't let me. Nope. It's so weird. Oh, there it is. Nope. I have no idea what it just did. I don't even know. Well, I can see that you guys can hear me. So, YouTube, and you can hear me just fine, right, sister? Hoping so. So, let me see here. I had a friend come over and we were creating some cards today that were graduation cards. So I'm excited to bring you guys some really fun varieties of graduation cards. Good. Thank you, sis. And so I have a daughter who's graduating. I have a son who walked the stage for his associates that he's earning this year. And I am super excited about all the graduations that are going on. All these kids that I just love so much. It's great to see them do it. So, but right now we're going to dive into some masculine cards. On Memorial Day, so just a couple days ago, we drove out to Salina, Ohio. And there was 2 places open in town that wasn't fast food, and we enjoyed a really delicious hamburger. My daughter and I split a burger with a Texas burger and a blue cheeseburger. And so that brought to mind this awesome and tasty bundle that we sell through Stampin' Up. So let's go ahead and dive right in creating, and I'm going to show you guys one of my favorite products that you might have overlooked when it comes to coloring. So let's dive on in. Let's make sure that we can zoom in. There we go. So one of my favorite products that we don't use a lot of is, not only is it that I love stays on, but did you actually know that we offer the saddle brown, beautiful brown ink pad for watercoloring? Now, the reason you want to color or watercolor with a solvent ink like stays on is that it allows you to hold the shape very steady all the way through, and you can add your watercolor accents. We're going to be using some great ink pads. You can find the link to this. The blog is ready to go. And we'll be showing while we are live. It'll go live with some of the things. The tutorial instructions aren't on there because I was busy making it instead. We're going to be using crumb cake, crushed curry, old olive, real red, and early espresso, in addition to the saddle brown. We're also using our water painters that comes in 3 different sizes, and I'm going to be using the middle size. And we're going to be awesome sauce embracing this Bistro burger bundle. I love it. There's so many great dyes in there, and we're going to start as a base. Now, usually when I watercolor, I really like to use the Fluid 100 watercolor paper, but today we're just going to use a very vanilla. So I'm super stoked about that. I really like just some flexibility. It does show you that you can watercolor with a variety of papers, and this, when you watercolor there, will give you a lot of texture. You can actually feel the texture of the burger, and I'm going to explain how that works. So the fibers in here, as I teach you how I like to watercolor, will pick up and accentuate. So the way you watercolor is really important. It's going to feature, and you can feel each individual fry because I colored them each individually. So that's really important. Each layer is individual here, and I did add a wink of Stella, which is on low inventory. So make sure that you guys get yours while you can. Now, you have to tell me, if I could have double the French fries at every place I could order, I would. The problem is my girls and I are allergic to soy. So finding a burger place that makes fresh French fries in something that is not soy or a soy-based combo is really challenging for us. It's really disappointing. So I don't have a fryer at home yet. I'm actually debating getting one. I know that sounds crazy in this modern era of healthy food, but a great healthy food alternative to watercoloring is actually watercoloring with frying. It would be frying with tallow. So that makes it easy to fry. I like a good beef tallow, and I make my own. Now I'm just stamping this down with that saddle brown, and I love this beautiful rich color. Can you see that beautiful brown? I think it's a perfect grounded brown that's easy to use. So there is that. And then you've noticed I've stamped the fries twice, and we're going to stamp the burger twice as well. Then we're going to make a double stacked burger. And I like a good juicy double stacked burger, but in general, I don't eat them. They're just too big for my mouth. So it always looks good, but it's too much for me. And so nobody needs to fight that. I also have TMJ, so I have a tendency to have like really tight side muscles on the side of my face. So there is that. So as you see here, we are going to dive in and create this double stacked burger when it looks like just a single stack. And that's really an easy way to do it. Now, when you're watercoloring, that is one of my favorite techniques. It looks phenomenal. It adds a lot of texture to your project. And I don't think most people realize that it actually adds texture to your project. And it's all about how you color it. Now, here, I'm going to give you some options, and you can tell me what you want me to do. With the cut here, it does give it a lot more layering, and we can do that with each layer. It just sees, let's see how we're doing on time, right? So we're going to grab the crumb cake, and we're going to squeeze that ink pad really quickly, just like so. Then we're going to grab our water painter, and we're going to use the, I don't want to lose that lid. We're going to use the lid as our palette. So we're going to squeeze a little bit of water in there and just kind of blend it in here. And then we're going to go into the burger patty or bun, and we're going to start coloring where it's shadowed. Now, did you know with watercoloring, it looks most ideal when you add layers. Layers and layers and layers. That's true with most coloring. I'll just be honest with you. I like to go in, and also on a good brioche bun, usually you have or a pretzel bun, you'll have this where it kind of busts open on the top and all that fresh bread peeks through. Oh, I love it so much. I'm also fasting right now, so we are going out to dinner or to lunch on Saturday, where I will break my fast to celebrate my daughter as she graduates this Saturday. She officially graduated, but she'll be walking for her graduation. We homeschool, so that gives us a lot more flexibility. But her last major project was her senior master's thesis. And so we had her finish that on the 18th of May. And she's been doing great since. She finished her college classes. She took additional college classes at Ivy Tech, so that when she goes in for her airline mechanic, she's going to be ahead of the game, which I think is so awesome. Now, I have actually gone over, and I'm going to keep repeating, going over those darkened areas that are designed as a shadow. So you want to kind of go over that, but you want to leave some lighter areas. Just kind of blend it out. Use a little bit more of the water than you would. And then you're going to want to create that little score, like toasty mark that you see right there around that where it popped open on the bread. I think those are usually on a pretzel bun. Are you a big hamburger person? I don't know. Are you a hamburger person, Rhonda? It's one of my favorite foods. And I think it's kind of funny. I've gone to restaurants where my daughters only order hamburgers, and my husband was trying to convince them to try their food. And I always tell him it's not a big deal, and he would get frustrated. And I explained why. Because what's the point of paying, honestly, for a burger that my kids are going to, or buying something that they actually won't eat? And so I usually get them to try something I have on my plate. And I do too, right, Rhonda? I love a good hamburger. I really do. Okay, we're gonna go in, and I'm not gonna color the bottom of this bun here. And we're gonna add some layers. Now, as the paper absorbs, the color is gonna get blended in. I think you might be a little far away. I'm gonna zoom in, okay? Zoop, right there. Super fun. Wanna make sure that we don't lose my connection on my laptop. Then, so we have this burger bun. It's going to sit there for a little bit and take its color, and it's going to absorb in. It's going to become very light. So that's the thing with watercoloring. Not only are you adding layers, you can go back and add and add. Now, because I've watercolored where it is, can you see all the texture that you'll see on the back of that paper there? It swoops in. I followed the line of the burger. That was really big and important. And those score marks, because I didn't color in the middle, it's peeking through with that yummy bread peeking through there, and it's going to give us a lot of that flexibility. So then we're going to go in, and I'm going to go to the early espresso. Give it a little squeeze, open it up, and we're going to give it some water in my palette. I like to blend out the water a little bit so I can see what I'm playing with here. And then I like to create a nice crispy exterior barbecued burger. My husband has taken to really liking an air fryered burger, especially at home. He just doesn't want to whip open the barbecue. And my girlfriend was laughing at me. She goes, "What do you mean you don't know how to barbecue?" I really don't know how to barbecue. It was always a thing my daddy did and my grandpa did. I didn't really do it. And so my girlfriend said she was going to make sure I knew how to barbecue well. And I thought, well, I'm all in. Give me some reason to cook. A good fried patty can taste good too, but there's something special about a barbecue, don't you think? And burgers are nice and crisp. Now, I'm going a little bit heavy-handed here, but it's going to absorb into the paper and become a softer look. So there is that. Now, I want to color this burger over here as well. And again, I'm following the lines of Stampin' Up's artists. Did you know that all of their stamp sets were created by an amazing team of artists? Each one is hand-drawn before it goes in for production. It's passed inspection by multiple people. It's really neat, the whole process that Stampin' Up has. I would love to have some events for Stampin' Up in Salt Lake City, because I love going to, like, it was almost like you want to think of it as like the motherland. I love going to Stampin' Up's facilities in Riverton, Utah. It's really beautiful. I actually really like Utah, to tell you guys the truth. I think it's a beautiful state. Lots to do. My sister lives in Utah, so I love to go early and late, and then we go hiking and shopping and eating and just snuggling. It's my sister. I love her. There you go. And we've done this nice dark burger, but if you haven't noticed, the coloring is starting to settle and change. It's kind of neat how that works. And so then now I take just a little trash napkin paper and I blot off the color, because I'm not going to do any more espresso quite yet. I might go back in to darken the hamburger. I'm not afraid of that. I want to highlight the different cheeses here. Now, when we die cut it, we're going to end up using this bottom piece as a piece of lettuce that's going to go on top of this piece of lettuce. That's how it becomes a smoother transition. So you have to find the cheese. That sounds like a fun game, doesn't it? We're taking the crushed curry here, and we're going to find that melty cheese. Makes me so happy. I love a good melty cheese. And I'm just going to add a little bit of that highlight under there. And so just so you can see some of the ooziness. Oozy. Oh, Lisa, happy Thursday. Thanks you guys for joining me. My usual day is Tuesday, but I was just struck down with a nightmare migraine and exhaustion. That happens when I do my fasting, but also my puppy has been getting up in the middle of the night And the way that things ended with our contractor was really stressful. And so I just really haven't slept well. I don't do well when there's a lot of that stuff. My brain is really hard to turn off. But really, it's the puppy getting up in the middle of the night. It's just killing me, I'll be honest. It's brutal. He's 6 months old now, and I am looking forward to, as he's really growing out of that stage, that he's a hungry hippo of a boy. He's a Burmese mountain dog with a Great Pyrenees mom. And so he is going to be a big boy. He is as big as my 5-year-old German Shepherd Lab mix right now. Now we're taking the old olive and we're going to put that onto the lettuce that you see here. So just go into the lettuce here. And remember that you want to follow the image of watercoloring. Stampin' Up! Designed it this way for a reason, and it makes it easy for you to know where to color. And we're going to do a little bit more with this old olive. It's a little bit darker than the average lettuce, but again, it lightens up, you guys. It really does. And it is going to be a big puppy. He's 60 pounds right now at 6 months. And we got him, he was 18 pounds. He loves to eat. He's like every boy in my life. They love to eat. And so, but he wants to get up and eat at 5 a.m. And I am not a 5 a.m. person, especially when he's gotten me up at 2 or 3 or 4 or all of those in one night, because he has to go potty. But I know he shouldn't have to. Sometimes he just wants to play, and he makes Sugar get up, and she seems super annoyed. That's my German Shepherd Lab mix, if you don't know. So it's a very interesting sitch, quite honestly. And then these are pickles. So I am very partial to what pickles I like. I don't generally like pickles on my hamburgers, except one of my favorite, I don't do a lot of fast food if I can avoid it, but Wendy's hamburgers, their french fries, they're actually like their french fries too. It's kind of weird, but their pickles, I don't know what kind of pickle it is, but it is the best pickle. But at home, I like to use usually a pickle with a kick. So some kind of pickle with a pepper. Sometimes we make our own pickles during the years. And so it's a little different. Now I can go in and accentuate some of those lines if I want to. And my brush is almost dry. I'm not super soppy wet on this, just so you guys know. Go in and accentuate the positive here. And if you guys don't see, we're double stacking it. So by doing that, we're going to go into this top piece right there. Is that where we're going? Yes, that's where we're going, to the bottom and the top piece right there. And I'm going to add a little bit of water. So our puppy's name is Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, the pup. We can't have peanut butters. My girls and I are allergic, but we think it's hysterical that his name is Reese's PBC. And that's how we call him. Reese's the PBC pup. He is so sweet too. He's a great temperament of a puppy. And he's a great animal for a breed for having at home with a family like our own. He's big on his pack. And a lot of dogs are really that way, quite honestly. They are very in tune to their owners and their pack. So there is that. Okay, so here we go. Now we need to go into those tomatoes, but I want you to know I am not done with those buns. I think those buns need a little bit more color because as we've sat there, it's gone from pretty dark brown to lightening up. And again, I have a little trash paper next to me that I just wipe this off on. And grab that real red, give it a little squeeze. A little squeeze will do ya. There we go. And then I'm going on the outside of the vegetables that you see here. And actually, that is a fruit. Did you know that? Did you know? Did ya? Did you know that now? Okay, and then we're going to go in and we're going to cover that again, but then go into the tomatoes. Have you guys ever had what my grandma used to call a Depression-era sandwich? Do you know anybody know what I'm going to say about that? It's one of my favorite sandwiches as a kid. My Aunt Pauline, who I find that I'm actually a lot like, used to eat them apparently, which I think is interesting. So she would take, and especially if my daddy grew fresh tomatoes, I love fresh tomatoes. I can't eat a lot of tomatoes anymore. It just hurts my tummy. Sucks getting older, doesn't it? But you take white bread, which I love a good potato bread pretty much. And we're using crumb cake again. I'm going to go in and we're going to accentuate those shadows. Follow the line of the stamp right there so you can give it some good texture. It'll have a total feel to it, my friends. Like, it's really a neat thing. And you have a fresh slab of onion with some mayonnaise. And we would eat that. I would eat that after schools. And my dad would think that was the silliest thing. And he said to me, that's just like my Aunt Pauline. My Aunt Pauline would be my great aunt, just in case you guys didn't know. So, Daddy's aunt. But I grew up with her. She lived, a lot of my childhood, she lived near my grandparents. So all of our family functions were together. She and my Uncle Jack, who's actually my dad's cousin, her son, he died of Agent Orange, results of Agent Orange. And so kind of interesting. So we're going to go over this here. There you go. And you can see that it's really, you want that molted look, you want that shadows, you want to accentuate the fact that this is watercolored. I think that's a very soft, and I think a burger needs to be soft. If it were a hard burger, you're eating it wrong. I'm just going to tell you up front and honest. So we're going to go in and just kind of blot in some color, but not add a ton. And as it's drying, it's pulling up in those shapes right there. I'm going to clear my aqua painter. I looked at the burger. Does it need a little bit more color? Maybe. We might run over a couple minutes here today. If you haven't already, like and share this video because sharing is caring. Right there, I'm going to go in. Right there. I love highlighting the areas. Just a little dash will do ya. You don't have to go solid, but you should always, 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 when you are watercoloring, you want to follow the image of, especially if you're watercoloring a stamped image or a drawn image, you really want to watercolor along those images. You don't want to go across it so that it would look wrong, and it just, you don't even know why it's wrong, you just know it's wrong. So then we're gonna go into some of the crushed curry and the old olive to do the pickle and the fries. Are you guys pickle people? That's a question I have for you. Are you a pickle person? If you are, comment what kind of pickles you like. I love a good bread and butter pickle. I love a little bit of a fire pickle, like you'll see them in the stores. Primarily like delis will have like a spicier pickle. Here. But I don't like dill. It's funny. I used to eat dill. My grandma liked dill when I was growing up, and I used to eat it with her. But I preferred the sweet pickles and the gherkins, the little baby ones. They were fun to eat. There we go. Super cute, right? And then, again, I followed the line of the pickle that I was coloring. So that's really kind of important. Then we're going to go into the crushed curry and do the French fries really quickly. Watercoloring is super soothing. Like, this is adult coloring book level of soothing for me. So I'm going to color each fry in so that I follow the line of the fry. It doesn't have to be the same color. I'm not going to pick up color every time. I don't know, my husband likes his fries really crispy. I like mine, like, I don't know, he likes his a little different from mine. I like mine crispy with, like, where they stand up. He likes his not crispy. He likes his soggy is what it is. Or is it crispy? I don't know what he likes, quite honestly. I couldn't tell you. So if you are a pickle person, what kind of pickles do you like? That's a good question. And moving out here, I'm learning the art of pickling and canning. I didn't have that really in California. Also, by coloring each fry differently, it's going to give you some great shadows. Any area that might be darker, you really want to make that area darker, or it might be an underneath. But when you feel those fries are going to have those textures to them when you watercolor. And that's one of the things I do love about watercoloring. It adds a lot of textures. I can't bring myself to use my Stampin' Up! Products while the gardeners are keeping their grandchildren from their extended family. That is too cruel. God bless you. So we are going here. I pray for all involved in that situation. I don't know enough about that situation on purpose. I choose not to obsess about stuff that we see in media. One thing I have learned is a lot of stuff we've seen in media is not always the full story. So Lisa, you said, I've got a small garden and we are going to freeze our veggies this year. Freeze them. That's really cool. I haven't done the freezing yet. I am really thinking that might be easier. We are going to have some major construction done to the house again, which really sucks for me. And it's going to be at a month and it'll start in July. So we're going to get a French trench dug around our house and the basement sealed. And some more stuff. It's going to be a challenge. And so I might, instead of canning, I do have a garden we're starting. And if I don't have the energy for canning, I'll probably do some freezing. I've always been really tempted by those dry freeze dryers. Freeze dryers, is that what they is? My friend owns the local Do It Center, and she's done some great presentations. And I might try to convince my husband to do it because those are really neat. So here we've colored these, and as it's set, it's sucking in. Oh no, you're late, Melody. That's okay. You can always catch the replay. So we're doing just this little watercoloring here, and we're going to make it stacked. Why? Because y'all, it's always better to have a big juicy burger. I think men particularly like a double stacked burger. I do not. It's a little too big for my taste. So we're going to zoom out just a smidgy widgy right here. And then we're going to grab my cut and emboss machine and the dies right here. And so, there we go. I do love a good burger. Thank you. So this is our burger here, sister. I love that so much. And so we're going to create our own version of that. Let's come back here. I'm going to zoom out even a little bit more so you can see more of my mess. Oh my goodness. Look at that mess, y'all. My girlfriend was over and she was creating cards with me today. And she said, wow, like, at least you can see some of the floor. Dave's Double. I do like a Dave's Double, but sometimes I find it's too big. At least it's edible, right? It's like not too huge in my mouth kind of a thing. But yeah, so there is that. And we're going to cut these 3 out right now and the pickle at the same time right there. I want you guys to know I already cut the knife out, and I used the new Country Woods Designer Series paper to cut the cutting board or serving board it would be with as well. And so we're going to grab just this little sticky note right here to kind of help hold them on where they need to be. No pickles, please. Oh, you're so cute. And I was telling the girls, I like the fiery pickles. I don't like dill. I like some kosher. So I wonder with Wendy's what kind of pickle they use. There's something about their pickles. I actually don't ever ask for double pickle, except for at Wendy's. I'll ask for an extra pickle or 2. So there you go. Kind of cute. Reminds me of a gherkin that I would have had with my grandma. So then we fussy die cut this out real quick. And we're going to do that to the other 2 as well. Don't lose my dies. I'm going to put it in my tray. My assistant was over and she was giving me a hard time because she knows if I use my little metal trays from Mechanics and I store my dies there, I don't lose them. And so I don't use it. Like, she's like, why did you put it down on the counter? You just put it in the tray. And so I think she's so right, like calling me on it. And then my friend Melody that was here today, she and I were talking, or Megan, I mean, and we started putting stuff away as we were using it. And she was like, look at us. We should be, like getting awards for that today. Thank you. Freeze-dried is cool, Lisa. I mean, it's not a cheap investment, but woo-wee, is it neato. Okay, so we're going to go and just put my cut and emboss away. Now, these collapse down. I like to actually store it while it's in the middle, so it's getting pressure holding it down. I don't know if it makes a huge difference, but I like it a lot. I did take and I stamped with that saddle brown stays on the very vanilla, and I embossed it to give us this really textury look. This reminds me, I'm going to zoom in again. This reminds me a lot of like what you would do when you smear on some mayo. Did you know, okay, this will trip you out. Because we're allergic to soy is in everything. It's really challenging for us. Soy, nuts, and coconut. And so we've come to start making our own mayonnaise. Do you know how easy and delicious it is to make your own mayonnaise? crazy. It's a garlic aioli that we make the most, but it's so easy. So easy, my friends. Now, here's our pieces here, and I want you guys to see, I'm going to bring this burger up close. Can you see the layer that's there? Not only can you feel the texture from the watercoloring on each level, but that cut really adds to the texture. Now, I'm not having time tonight to do it, sadly. Otherwise, I would. But you can cut each level and create a ton of texture on your project. So you're going to come in, and we're going to go right over here. Now, the first one I did is kind of a neutral man's birthday card. And I think the second one I'm going to do and make it into a Father's Day card. When you're creating a masculine card, it's really challenging to sometimes find how to make something. But I have a husband that's very food-centered. So for us, it makes it easy. Did you know that this die also creates, it comes with like picks and olives and flags and knives. So it actually has a little die cut up there for you. If I had more time tonight, I would cut each level, but I'm not going to. What we're going to do is take that knife. I've already die cut it. And here's the little, it's using the Country Woods designer series paper. And we're going to pop out the blade handle right there with my Take Your Pick tool. And put that in the tray. And then we already did die cut the hamburger or the knife, so the two goes together very easily. And then we have a tray. We're gonna put this easy peasy lemon squeezy together, quite honestly. I love my Take Your Pick tools. It makes your crafting so much easier. So, which is a great idea, Lisa. I love when I have one, but I never know what it might have been. Don't know. Okay, so we're going to come in and we're going to start building our burger board. I'm going to place this very simply, not a lot of layers, because I do have the fries going off and the burger and the knife. So when you look at the sample, you can see everything's kind of coming and it gives it a lot of texture. We have some, I'll show you how I applied this down with some adhesive. We're going to use our bone folder to give it a nice firm impression. I did score this one at 5.5 and cut it 4 1/4 for an elongated card. It's kind of neat. My friend Megan was talking about that she really likes that as well. She's like, I like when you do a different fold, but it's nothing extra. I said, girl, me too. Me too, or 3 or 4. This one's at its last leg. Look at my this multi-purpose liquid adhesive has made so many freaking cards, y'all. It's funny. And then pop that on. Always double check that your card opens the way you want. I know that it hasn't moved, but I always double check because I've made so many upside down cards. So then you come in and you're just going to kind of apply this down. She was using a non-Stampin' Up adhesive today when we were creating, and it was so inferior. And she kept saying that. She was like, I'm so frustrated that I bought this not knowing the difference in quality. So I didn't cut off the top part. I'm going to actually use that to help adhere the layers together. So I'm going to go in. When you watercolor, you should be able to see all the textures in the back. It's very wavy and it picks up all that watercoloring in levels, and you can feel it when you use a card. And that is fun. Right there. And our multi-purpose liquid adhesive takes a second to dry, which is wonderful. And then we're going to take the French fries and just kind of, I don't know if it's got a blockage or if it's just kind of at its last leg there. And we're going to have these French fries kind of coming off so that they go over and overlap onto the crumb cake that you see right there. Then I don't know if we'll have enough in here to do the other one. We'll see. Oh, we do. And we're going to have this one kind of coming off different angles. Move it back on. There you go. Then take your handle for your little knife, steak knife. I'm trying to convince my husband we need new steak knives in our new kitchen. And then we're going to take the handle of the knife and put it over so that the silver peeks through those holes so you can see like the riveting right there. Isn't that fun? Boom shakalaka. And then we're going to take that little cut at the top and stick it there. You could put the olives there. You could put the pickle there. I do not stick a pickle on top of my burger bun. Don't do it. No. And I actually, like at McAllister's, they're a sandwich place that I will eat at periodically. And I don't care for their pickles. I mean, it's kosher. It's not hideous, but it's not my favorite, quite honestly. Now, I'm going to come back in here and apply some of the adhesive here. And you want to see where you want your knife to lay. But because the words are right there, you might want to be a little careful, like move it over and stick it kind of like that. Once you know where it is that you want it, apply a dimensional behind it. Now everything else has been pretty flat, even though there's a lot of texture with the embossing that we did with the, I think it's called dry brush paint. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, quite honestly. Right there. So you have a little dash of flash right there. We're gonna get a little mini dimensional and put that on the pickle. I'm sorry, Melody, you're gonna have to deal with the pickle on your plate. Let's see here. Kind of have it hang down. I would hate if a pickle was on my French fries. I'll be honest with you. That would not make me happy. And then I'm going to take my Wink of Stella. Now this is in low inventory again, my friends. So make sure that you get it while you can. It's my favorite way to watercolor or any of that. But anything that might have been, like the veggies might have been moist. So I was watching this interesting video where a woman was talking about there's no actual definition of what a vegetable is. So you can look at any of your favorite vegetables and they're actually not. It's a culinary term for cooking. So your potatoes are your tubers. You'll just give it to somebody else. Yes, that's what I always do when I get mine. The pickle is actually a fruit, and so is the tomato and the cucumbers and the like all of that. The lettuce is a leaf. I didn't know that was actually a qualification. Who knew? And then just kind of dash a little bit over the fries. They should be yummy and salty. A little bit on the burger. Oh, I squeezed too hard. Oh, I hate that. Don't you hate that? Right there. Just kind of dash it. It does absorb in, but bleh, it's not my favorite to have a super shiny burger. I don't know. A little muddly. So there you go. And then, so here is, and it's as it's drying, it's going to continue to get lighter, my friends. It's not going to be as dark of a bun, which is kind of nice. So thank you so much, Rhonda. And then you can stamp on the inside. This is a great collection. Here, but you have Happy Father's Day. I have your kind of a big deal that we put on the front. Time to celebrate, and here's to a great guy. The reason that's great is that these are a universal. It could be for a graduation, a retirement, birthday, an achievement, or Father's Day, you name it. So, and I actually might help my daughter's best friend make a Father's Day card for her dad. He likes burgers as well. I could see Jim liking this kind of card. I hope you guys liked it as much as I did. I love a good burger. Who knew a burger could be so cute? Right, Lindsay? I think so, right? It's a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I will be back on Tuesday live. Keep us in your prayers as my daughter's getting married. She's getting to graduate. Time flies so fast that she's graduating, and my heart is kind of broken. I'm like, yay! Not really. Every stage is exciting and new, but she's just gonna be super busy, and all the boys are interested, and I won't get time with my girl. She's my partner in crime. So there you go. This is our card for this evening. Thank you so much. If you haven't already, like and share the video. Go ahead and hit that bell and subscribe so that you can join us all week long as we create and connect over card making and crafting. I have some great cards coming with this bundle, as well as some graduation cards coming this week. I hope that you're as excited to see them as I am. Thank you for joining me. Have a good evening. God bless.